Hello everyone, what's the tea? What's the tea, everybody? It's me, Sino, the actual, the main, the resident, Gorgeous, and welcome back to my channel. Yes. Today we have a very exciting video because I'm basically telling everyone that, judging by the title of the video, that I've moved to Joburg. Yeah, I decided to create this video to sort of just give a bit of context as to my move, what prompted it, how was it, and yeah, let's just document that, guys, and just see where it goes. I've been meaning to make this video for a very long time, like every other video actually. What video haven't I been meaning to make for hours and days? Every other video. But anyways, we're finally here. We might as well get on with it. I just want to start off by saying I officially resigned from my job on the 5th of December 2025. And when I handed in my resignation, I remember my team leader, I'm someone who jokes a lot. So when I was like, yeah, listen here, I'm leaving y'all. She laughed at first. She was like, "Ugh, shut up." I was like, you need to shut up, sis. Cause this tea's real, sis. Like I ain't out here yapping and bam 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 out of my mouth and shit like that. Nah, sis. I'm out here to tell you that I'm bouncing. Like a bitch is bouncing. So in terms of this move, what happened? What really happened? Quitting my job. I knew I was gonna quit my job. Like within months of getting into my job, I knew I was gonna quit it because when I got my job, I was doing an internship for a scholarship company, I guess. And when I did the internship, I was data analytics junior, and I was hoping we would get hired. Like I thought it was a done deal. Like I thought it was a done deal. Worked very hard, just trying to prove myself, learning all these things. But in the end, like nothing came of it. Yep, nothing came of it. And when I say nothing came of it, I mean even our farewell was just. I wasn't there for the farewell. The people from the CETA, which is the group that actually like sort of organized the internship and the learnership, they straight up told us around September that like, listen here, y'all, we've been speaking to your incubators and your host companies, and it doesn't seem like they're going to hire y'all. So look for a job and yeah, do you just look out for yourself. So I took that advice to heart, and basically I was like, well, deuces. I applied for a job. I remember it was the end of 2024. I had gone on a 7 day fast, yeah, and it ended on the 31st. And that's when I submitted my application for a job, and I got the job the same week. Like I got a response same day saying I should go for an interview. I went for an interview, and on the 6th of January 2025, I started my job. And as you can see, like it was out of, I don't want to say desperation, but it sort of was because I had rent to pay, I had bills to pay, and I wasn't sure when my next paycheck was coming. So getting a job was just a refreshment, and I just left them at that. And when we started the call center, I've worked at call centers before, and as much as a lot of people look for growth in a job, a call center is just not a environment I was looking to. I just, unless I'm in like a technical role, I don't see myself working on the dialer. And within that department, I genuinely just don't see myself doing that my whole life. So I was just like, yeah, we need to get an exit plan. Because I just could see also like the roles that I had applied for starting to reject me, meaning I applied whilst I was like at NSFAS. And I was like, we need to get out of Cape Town. Yeah, I just felt stuck at that moment. I was like, something is off. We need to get out of Cape Town. I didn't know how. And as I continued with my job, and I just, as I continued with my job, it became pretty clear that I just was not happy in Cape Town because there was a certain point in my job. I wouldn't say we got a promotion, but we got a promotion somehow, more responsibilities, blah 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 blah. But it was just a growth opportunity. I became an escalations manager, and when I became an escalations manager, like everything was fine, man. The salary was good, the hours were good. I really had no issue. I actually was just doing my job at a certain time, but I was like, I don't like being here. I don't like in Cape Town. I've been meaning to go to Joburg for like the past 7 years of my life. And I felt like it was an opportunity to actually just intentionally move to Joburg. Because I'd always thought that maybe I'm going to get a job opportunity and then I'd have to relocate. Also daunting because I'm like, the relocation, finding a place, all of that. Very much aware how expensive that process is. And I've gone through it. And baby, honey, baby, yo. Nothing has ever depressed me like spending the money I save. But anyways, back to the story. So I just didn't feel happy anymore. I'd been in Cape Town for at least 15, 16 years of my life, and I wasn't where I wanted to be. I wasn't where I wanted to be in my career. I wasn't where I wanted to be, like just socially and stuff. So I just thought to myself, let's just make a plan. Let's just make an exit strategy. And that's when I started saving. I I saved basically. That's when I started saving. And yeah, I started saving, and as I was saving, it just became pretty clear to me that the feeling I was having of just feeling stuck and stagnant and like I'm moving in circles from learnership to a job to another learnership to a job. It was just like a rotating door at this point. And I was like, nah, this, nah, throw the whole thing away. So my advice was that like I just needed change. I feel like I needed change because nothing I was doing they felt like I made me happy. I feel like I was waiting for this time and moment in my life where I'm going to live out everything I want to live out. And usually that had Joburg tied to it. So I also, when I was in Cape Town, I just feel like I didn't have a sense of community. I had friends. You know, when you have friends, sometimes you do get the illusion that you have a sense of community. But like, I'm a queer person. You know, I'm not like a cis person, nor am I like. I wouldn't say I'm a heterosexual person. Mm, working on that, and just having cis heterosexual friends. I didn't have any gay friends. I didn't have any trans friends, no lesbian friends. I was just usually in a circle, always, always. The gay, now the trans queer friend. And I just think that that made me feel lonely at times. You know, you can feel lonely whilst you're in a group of people, and you feel lonely because you can't relate to a lot of what they're saying, or you can't relate to a lot of the experiences. And that's something with me is that if I'm in a space where I feel like no one can hold the information or hold space for what I'm going through, I won't actually share it. And a lot of times, just sharing as a queer person just raises many more questions that have nothing to do with what you're going through. And they just, yeah, just having to educate people about sex and dating and blah, 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 all of that, having to constantly do that. So I just feel as though, like, when I came to Joburg, I just want to build a community of like a queer group of friends, hopefully. But that's the other thing, you don't choose your friends come to you. And the going back to like just planning, when you're doing the planning, I'd say you need to have a figure, like an amount. So what I did is that like I went to Googled prices in Joburg of rent, and I was like, okay, rent is this much. I was like, at least we need like 3 to 4 months rent to feel like stable or to feel as though we're good. So I had that target. After I saved that, I had to factor in now traveling costs. I also had to factor in furnishing the place. So that was the next half of the year. And to help in aiding this, I joined a stock sale. I also started a perfume business, which would like I would use the money to perhaps do my other things. But basically, when I get paid, I would use about 30 to 40% of that to go to my savings, and then the rest I'd pay my bills, do everything else, pay rent, and all of that. Otherwise, I saved, saved, saved. It was just so hard because when you have a lot of money and being someone that did a lot of internships, I was just not used to having so much money for long periods of time. Like if I was working at a call center, I would work for like 3 to 6 months, and usually that's when you are starting to like focus on yourself and your issues. You know, nights alcohol, clothes, all of that. But I was like, yeah, man, um, getting things, but like as time went, I noticed that I had to like restrain myself a bit more, like so I can add a bit more money. That was very hard. That was very hard. I know I wanted to buy wigs. I know I wanted to do nails professionally, but I like had to save up and do my own nails a lot of time. And in terms of hair, there's months where I went without doing my hair, and I had the money to do it. But it was just that I knew that that money was not for hair. That money was for the moving, and therefore I had to sacrifice a lot. I had to sacrifice also just going out, and yeah, through all of that, I guess it worked out. It worked out. There was a time when I saw the figure, and I think it was around November when I saw the figure that I had in mind getting closer. I was like, oh, okay, we can definitely send our, resignation soon. And once I saw the figure, like I hit it like end of November. I hit the mark. I was like, okay, love it for you, girl. So handed in the resignation, started serving my notice. And yeah, the last month, let's just talk about the last month. The last month, which was December, that was a very, very busy month for me from taking overtime to, I was just trying to make as much money as I can at that point, because I knew that my paycheck for January was going to be very lean. So I was just trying to make in as many hours as I can because my last day was going to be the 6th of January. So the 6th of January, approached. As it approached, there was just days where I was like, I wish I had just quit straight up. Like, oh my God, I don't want to be here. Just, as the days go by and your body starts to tell you when it's just not having it. I think I started just feeling burnt out. I just felt so much burnout. I was like, not again. Oh God, I'm going to this job. Lord, save me. And I just had to every day just wake up and find the will to go to work and do my job because that was just what I was doing at this point. And as the date was getting closer, that feeling sort of like shifted. I went from dreading to go to work to actually like being emotional about going to work because I was just aware that I was not going to see the people anymore. At Little Call Center, one thing I'll tell you is that management is going to be shitty, bruh. The management, they don't give a shit about you. But the people you're gonna have is your colleagues, babe. And we've had each other. Like we started the campaign because there was no campaign before we started. And it was like a set of 12 people. And by the time I left, I think there was like 10 of us, of which five had gone to being escalation managers. So I just started being emotional, man. I just started thinking about them. I just thinking about like, ugh, girl, your girl was going through it, okay? And I just think that that's when I started doubting myself. I was like, are you sure about this? And then the fear started creeping in, y'all, because I wasn't sure. I was like, I mean, you can revoke your resignation still. Those started coming back. This is like 2 weeks or a week before my notice would end. And obviously, my manager as well wasn't helping. She kept like insinuating, like, I haven't like processed your resignation yet. You can do ABC. I was like, girl, it's done. I'm leaving. And I don't want to discuss this. Like, let me go. And yeah, I mean, she saw that, like, really, I did mean it at some point, and she stopped pushing really. And I think that's when, yeah, things just started going, man, I guess. And we continued. until the last day. The last day, the last day was very interesting because like I got there, I was like, yeah, I know I'm not gonna take many calls and all of that. And I thought I was gonna implement this myself, but like luckily my manager was like, I hated me. She was like, yeah, I can take calls until like 12 o'clock midnight and have the rest of the shift off. And I was like, oh, for real? She was like, yeah. And then mid shift, she's like, okay, so like one more time. Are you really, really sure? Because I'm about to submit your um admin now for like the resignation. I was like, yeah, I'm sure. I was like, okay. And then she got a few of my colleagues on her calls, and we just chilled for like a good hour, just chatting, man. Just oh yeah, man. We just started chatting, and yeah, we went outside, and why am I getting emotional? I miss my bitches and my dick though. Anyways, okay. Yeah. And then they went back on calls. And then I was like, okay, let me just go finish my last bit of admin that I had left. And come to find out, my login stopped working immediately. Yep. Like after she submitted all that admin, I couldn't log in, I couldn't do anything. Like I was fired whilst well not fired. I was relieved of my duties whilst I was at work, essentially. So from 12 o'clock midnight, I was no longer an employee. And it was just, yo, and okay. Something that I just forgot to mention is that, like, when I got to work, I got a badge for finishing a year of tenure, which was like, that's how I was planning it. I wanted to be on the year on the mark. But like just seeing that I had finished a year and I was also quitting, it was just a full circle moment. It was just a full circle moment. Uh, I left at like 4 a.m. and that's when I went to go to the Home Affairs to go get my ID because I previously got mugged and I lost my ID and I spent like 3 months without an ID, y'all. So I went to go make it. So I left like 4 a.m., took an Uber, went to the Home Affairs, did my ID and all of that. But like, yeah. So yeah, in Joburg now. As you can see, this is my new apartment. I'm going to have an apartment tour soon. Also, a video whereby I'm setting up the apartment. And there's always videos coming. I'm having 30 days of content. So this is day one. There's definitely going to be a video tomorrow and the day after that. So just keep out on the watch on the times because currently right now I'm struggling with like my Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi at our apartment building just keeps messing up. Let me just check right now. Okay, I can't see the thingy. But like it's messing up right now and I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to upload this today. I might have to go to my friend's room. I've made friends, y'all. That's a story for another day. That's a story for another day. And yeah, I just have to say thank you very much for coming with me through this journey. And there's going to be so much more updates on Joburg. I hope you enjoyed this video. There's many more loads coming. And thank you very much. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Y'all don't comment. Please, please comment. Please comment hi. Please comment shoe. Press the number 1 down there. Yeah, do something. Just do something, y'all. Y'all just look at my like, listen, even before the video starts, just do something. Like, comment, subscribe, comment a heart. Oh God. Tell me how ugly I look. I don't know. Something, y'all. Like my comment section has been empty on every video. And y'all have been watching. Say something. Say something. Oof. Okay, once again, I'm so glad I did this video. Thank you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to go on with my Sunday, cook dinner, and enjoy my spec. Yeah.